This country is known for ancient ruins, beautiful islands, and legendary history. But behind the postcards lies a lifestyle that shocks outsiders, open, intense, and deeply cultural. What's considered normal here would be taboo in many parts of the world. Join us, and let's discover why Greece is considered the most passionate country on Earth. Let's go. Number 10. Zakynthos sea turtles. Zakynthos harbors a secret that makes the island special beyond its dramatic beaches. Loggerhead sea turtles, an endangered species, nest on several beaches here. These ancient reptiles, which can live 70 years and weigh up to 180 kilograms, return to Zakynthos every summer to lay eggs in the same beaches where they were born decades earlier. The Leganis Bay area contains the most important nesting sites. Female turtles emerge from the sea at night, crawl up the beach, dig deep holes with their rear flippers, and deposit around 100 eggs. They cover the nest carefully and return to the ocean, leaving the eggs to incubate in warm sand for about 60 days. Baby turtles hatch at night, instinctively digging their way to the surface and scrambling toward the sea, guided by moonlight reflecting on the water. Tourism created serious problems. Hotels built near nesting beaches, beachgoers unknowingly disturbed nests, artificial lights confused hatchlings, causing them to crawl inland toward buildings instead of toward the ocean. Boats struck adult turtles in the bay. The population declined dramatically. Conservation efforts began in the 1980s. The National Marine Park of Zakynthos was established to protect the turtles and their habitat. During nesting season, sections of beaches closed to the public after sunset. Volunteers patrol beaches, marking nests with protective cages. Signs educate tourists about not disturbing sand or leaving trash. Boat speed limits in the bay prevent collisions with turtles. These measures helped stabilize the population. Today, Zakynthos hosts between 1,200 and 1,500 nests annually, making it the most important loggerhead nesting site in the Mediterranean. Visitors can observe turtles ethically. Boat tours keep respectful distances. Snorkeling in certain areas allows underwater observation. The Sea Turtle Rescue Center treats injured turtles and educates visitors about conservation. Seeing a loggerhead sea turtle in the wild is memorable. They're surprisingly large, moving gracefully through clear water. Their flippers propel them in bird-like flight through the sea. They surface to breathe, ancient reptilian faces breaking the water before diving again. These turtles have existed for 100 million years, surviving the asteroid impact that killed the dinosaurs. They've nested on Mediterranean beaches since long before humans built cities. Protecting them represents preserving a connection to ancient natural history, ensuring these magnificent creatures continue their life cycles in Greek waters.
Number 9. Mykonos windmills. Mykonos built its reputation on contradictions. The island serves as Greece's premier party destination while maintaining traditional architecture that defines the Cycladic aesthetic. Whitewashed buildings cascade down hillsides toward the sea. Churches with blue domes punctuate the skyline. And standing above everything, 5 iconic windmills watch over the harbor like silent guardians from another era. These windmills became Mykonos's trademark image, appearing on postcards, travel brochures, and Instagram feeds millions of times over. Built in the 16th century by Venetians, the windmills served an essential purpose. Mykonos grows wheat across its interior, and these structures ground the grain into flour. The strong Aegean winds that sweep across the island provided constant power. 7 windmills originally stood on the hill overlooking Chora. 5 remain today, their white cylindrical towers topped with wooden frames and canvas sails. The windmills stopped operating commercially decades ago, but they stand preserved as cultural monuments. One houses a small museum explaining traditional milling techniques. Visitors climb the hill throughout the day, timing arrivals for sunrise or sunset when the light transforms the scene. The view extends across the town, the harbor, and the blue expanse of the Aegean. Little Venice sits just below the windmills, another Mykonos landmark, where houses built directly on the waterfront allow waves to crash against their balconies. Restaurants and bars occupy these historic buildings now, offering front-row seats to the sunset spectacle. The windmills watch over the chaos below. During summer months, ferries disgorge thousands of tourists daily. Beach clubs throb with electronic music. Streets overflow with visitors shopping, eating, and photographing everything. But those windmills remain constant, connecting the modern party scene to centuries of Greek maritime and agricultural tradition. The island knows how to balance both identities, offering wild nightlife and timeless beauty in equal measure.
I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you a naturally curious person? If you're watching, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. This space is made for people like us. To ensure you're always part of this community and receive all our latest discoveries, you just need to do one thing: subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us. Okay, now that you're part of our Legion of the Curious, let's move on to the next item.
Number 8. Archaeological Site. Ancient Greeks believed Delphi marked the center of the world. According to mythology, Zeus released two eagles from opposite ends of the earth. They met at Delphi, establishing this location as the planet's navel. A stone monument called the Omphalos marked the exact spot. Whether or not this placed Delphi at the world's center, it certainly occupied the center of Greek religious and political life for centuries. The Oracle of Delphi operated here, the most important prophetic site in the ancient world. Kings, generals, and common citizens traveled to Delphi seeking guidance from the oracle, a priestess called the Pythia. She would enter a trance state, possibly induced by volcanic gases rising through cracks in the temple floor, and deliver cryptic prophecies interpreted by priests. These predictions influenced major decisions. Wars were launched or avoided, colonies were founded, laws were passed, all based on the oracle's words. The sanctuary sprawls across the slopes of Mount Parnassus, overlooking a valley of olive groves stretching to the Gulf of Corinth. The Sacred Way, a path paved with stones worn smooth by thousands of ancient pilgrims, winds uphill past the remains of treasuries built by various city-states. These small marble buildings housed offerings to Apollo: gold, silver, artwork, and spoils from military victories. The Temple of Apollo dominates the site. Only 6 columns remain standing from the structure that once housed the oracle, but the platform and foundations convey the temple's original scale. Pilgrims would purify themselves at the Castalian spring below the sanctuary before ascending to present their questions. The theater sits higher on the slope, carved into the mountainside. It seated 5,000 spectators who attended plays and musical competitions during the Pythian Games, second only to the Olympics in importance. The acoustics remain perfect. A person speaking normally on the stage can be heard clearly in the top rows. Above the theater stands the stadium where athletic competitions took place. The track is 177 meters long, standard for ancient Greek stadiums. Stone seats line both sides, accommodating 6,500 spectators. Runners, wrestlers, and boxers competed here every 4 years during the Pythian Games. The Delphi Archaeological Museum houses treasures discovered during excavations. The Charioteer of Delphi, a bronze statue from 478 BCE, stands as one of the finest surviving examples of ancient Greek sculpture. Originally part of a monument including horses and chariot, only the driver remains, his serene expression and detailed craftsmanship still captivating viewers 2,500 years later. Standing at Delphi produces a strange feeling. The site occupies a natural amphitheater formed by towering rock cliffs called the Phaedriades. Eagles circle overhead. The valley below seems to stretch forever. You understand why Greeks chose this place as Apollo's sanctuary and why they believed God spoke through the oracle here.
Number 7. Meteora Monasteries. Central Greece hides one of the world's most extraordinary architectural achievements. Meteora means suspended in air, and the name fits perfectly. Massive rock pillars rise from the valley floor, some reaching 400 meters high. These aren't ordinary cliffs. They're giant columns of sandstone and conglomerate rock, carved by geological forces over millions of years. Rivers, earthquakes, and erosion created this surreal landscape of vertical towers standing isolated from surrounding mountains. Then humans did something incredible. Starting in the 11th century, monks climbed these rock pillars and built monasteries on top. Not near the top or partway up, on the very summit, where the stone towers meet the sky. The first hermits lived in caves carved into the rock faces, seeking isolation for prayer and meditation. Eventually, they constructed complete monastery complexes on these impossible perches. 24 monasteries were built across the various rock pillars. 6 remain active today, housing small communities of monks and nuns. The logistics boggle the mind.
Construction materials were hauled up using nets, ropes, and pulleys. Builders worked on tiny platforms suspended over deadly drops. The monasteries include churches decorated with frescoes, libraries containing ancient manuscripts, living quarters, storage rooms, and courtyards. All this was constructed on rock summits barely large enough to support the buildings. For centuries, the only access involved climbing removable ladders or being hauled up in nets. Monks would pull supplies and visitors up manually, a process taking hours and requiring considerable faith. Steps carved into the rock and bridges between pillars came much later, making the monasteries accessible to pilgrims and tourists. The frescoes inside these churches survived centuries intact. Gold-leafed icons cover the walls. The monastery of Great Meteorum, the largest and oldest, contains a museum displaying religious artifacts, embroidered vestments, and illuminated manuscripts. The view from any monastery veranda is breathtaking. The Thessalian plain spreads below, a patchwork of fields and villages. Other rock pillars rise from the valley floor, some topped with monasteries, others standing bare. Eagles circle on thermal currents. The wind carries the sound of bells during prayer times. Meteora represents human determination to reach toward the divine, literally and figuratively. These monks chose the most difficult locations possible to separate themselves from the world below, creating sanctuaries that still inspire awe nearly 1,000 years later.
Number 6. Greek mythology gods. Greece operates on two levels simultaneously. Ancient ruins sit next to modern developments. Traditions from antiquity continue alongside contemporary lifestyles. This isn't a country living in the past or desperately clinging to former glory. Instead, Greeks maintain their history as a living presence, something that informs current identity without defining it completely. The passion Greeks display in daily life connects to cultural roots stretching back thousands of years. When Greeks argue politics in cafes, they're continuing a tradition from ancient agoras. When they dance at celebrations, they're performing movements passed down through countless generations. When they gather for meals lasting hours, they're enacting hospitality customs that have governed social life since antiquity. This intensity extends to emotional and romantic life. Greeks express feelings openly and directly. Conversations happen at high volume with expansive gestures. Physical affection between friends and family members is common and expected. This cultural pattern of intense emotional engagement influences romantic relationships, contributing to statistics showing Greek couples maintain active, intimate lives. The geographical setting reinforces these cultural patterns. The Mediterranean climate encourages outdoor social life. Warm evenings bring people into streets, squares, and waterfront areas. The island lifestyle, where communities develop tight bonds through isolation, creates intense interpersonal relationships. The stunning natural environment, from mountain vistas to clear seas, constantly reminds people of life's physical beauty. Greece today struggles with economic challenges, emigration of young people, and political tensions. But underneath these modern problems runs an unbroken cultural current. The same seas lap at the same shores. Mountains cast the same shadows. Islands sit in the same positions. And Greeks continue living with the same passionate intensity that characterized their ancestors, creating a nation where ancient wisdom meets modern complexity, where mythology informs reality, and where love remains a defining national characteristic.
Number 5. Ancient Greek Olympic Games. Greeks call their country Hellas and themselves Hellenes. The name Greece came from the Romans and stuck in most Western languages. This naming discrepancy hints at the layers of history accumulated here. Ancient Athens invented democracy around 508 BCE. Citizens gathered in the agora to debate and vote on laws, military actions, and civic matters. Women, slaves, and foreigners couldn't participate, but the concept of citizens deciding their government's direction revolutionized political thought. Modern democracies trace their philosophical roots directly to these Athenian assemblies. The Olympic Games began in 776 BCE in Olympia, a sanctuary dedicated to Zeus. Athletes from different city-states competed in running, wrestling, boxing, chariot racing, and the pentathlon. The games occurred every 4 years, and a sacred truce suspended all conflicts so participants could travel safely. One aspect shocks modern sensibilities. Athletes competed completely naked. Greeks considered the nude male body the ultimate expression of physical perfection, worthy of public display and celebration. Greece contains more museums per capita than any other country. Archaeological sites cover the landscape, and new discoveries happen regularly. Construction projects in Athens routinely unearth ancient artifacts, sometimes delaying modern development for years while archaeologists excavate. This density of historical material reflects Greece's position as the cultural foundation for Western civilization. Studies consistently rank Greeks among the world's most sexually active populations. Research from condom manufacturers, health organizations, and social surveys place Greece at or near the top for frequency of intimate relations. Researchers attribute this to cultural factors: passionate temperament, strong emotional expression, warm climate, and social traditions that celebrate physical affection. The Mediterranean lifestyle, with its emphasis on pleasure, connection, and living fully, manifests in Greek attitudes towards romance and physical intimacy.
Number 4. Greek Sirtaki dance. Greek dance carries history through movement. Every region and island developed distinct styles, but certain dances achieved national recognition. The Sirtaki gained worldwide fame through the 1964 film Zorba the Greek. Composer Mikis Theodorakis created this dance specifically for the movie, blending traditional slow and fast rhythms. Dancers hold shoulders, forming a line that moves together. The tempo starts deliberately, then accelerates until everyone moves in synchronized rapid steps. Though invented recently, Sirtaki draws heavily from authentic folk traditions, earning its place as a Greek cultural symbol. The Kalamatianos represents one of Greece's oldest continuous dance traditions. 12 beats comprise each musical phrase, and dancers hold hands in a circle. The lead dancer often performs elaborate improvisations, leaping and spinning, while others maintain the basic step pattern. This dance appears at weddings, religious festivals, and family gatherings throughout Greece. The circular formation symbolizes unity and community, with no beginning or end, everyone equal in the chain. Warriors and craftsmen of the Byzantine Empire created the hasapiko. The name derives from the butchers' guild that popularized this dance. Heavy, deliberate steps give it a martial quality. Men traditionally performed it exclusively, emphasizing strength and discipline. Two versions exist: the slow hasapiko vari and the faster hasapiko. Both require precise footwork and close coordination between dancers. In modern Greece, these dances haven't become museum pieces or tourist performances. Greeks dance at actual celebrations, passing steps to younger generations. Wedding receptions inevitably reach a point where someone initiates the circle and everyone joins. The music changes, hands connect, and suddenly the room moves as one organism, breathing the same rhythm.
Number 3. Ancient theater of Epidaurus. Ancient Greeks invented theater as we know it. Drama, comedy, tragedy, all emerged from religious festivals honoring Dionysus. Greeks built theaters throughout their territories, but the theater of Epidaurus stands as the finest surviving example. Built in the 4th century BCE, this theater demonstrates engineering and acoustic principles that modern architects still study. The structure sits carved into a hillside at the sanctuary of Asclepios, the god of healing. The theater hosted performances during religious festivals, part of a larger healing complex where sick people came for treatment. The theater itself consists of 55 rows of stone seats arranged in a semicircle, divided into 2 sections. The lower section has 34 rows, the upper section 21 rows. Capacity reaches approximately 14,000 spectators. The seats are limestone blocks, worn smooth by millions of visitors over 2,300 years. The orchestra, a circular performance area, measures 20 meters in diameter. Actors and chorus performed here, while musicians provided accompaniment. Behind the orchestra, the skene served as backstage area and scenic backdrop. The acoustics are the theater's most remarkable feature. Stand in the orchestra center and speak in a normal voice. Someone sitting in the back row, 60 meters away and 23 meters higher, hears every word clearly. Drop a coin in the center and the sound carries to the top rows. No amplification, no tricks, just mathematical precision in the theater's design. Theories about how this works focus on the seat's limestone reflecting sound waves upward, the theater's specific angle optimizing sound travel, and possibly the rows filtering out low-frequency background noise while amplifying higher frequencies of human speech. Modern performers still use the theater. The Athens and Epidaurus Festival presents ancient Greek plays every summer.
Watching a performance here, sitting on stone seats under stars, listening to actors speak lines written 2,500 years ago, creates a powerful connection across time. The site isn't just ruins, it's a functioning performance space demonstrating ancient Greek sophistication. These people understood acoustics, geometry, and crowd flow. They built permanent structures designed for specific purposes, and those structures still work perfectly after more than 2 millennia.
Number 2. Santorini White Buildings. Greece's tourism appeal extends far beyond Athens. Santorini captures imaginations worldwide. This crescent-shaped island formed from a massive volcanic eruption around 1600 BCE. The explosion created a caldera, a huge underwater crater ringed by towering cliffs. Towns perch on these cliff edges, whitewashed buildings stacked vertically down the slope. Blue-domed churches dot the skyline, creating the quintessential Greek island image reproduced in countless photographs and paintings. Walking through Santorini's villages feels surreal. Narrow pathways wind between buildings. Staircases connect different levels. Doorways open to restaurants carved into caves. Balconies overlook the caldera, where the sea drops off into deep blue nothingness. Sunset viewing has become a formal ritual. Thousands gather daily at viewpoints in Oia and Fira as the sun sinks toward the water. The sky transforms through orange, pink, and purple phases while tourists applaud. Zakynthos offers different beauty. Navajo Beach, also called Shipwreck Beach, hides in a cove accessible only by boat. Sheer limestone cliffs rise 200 meters on 3 sides. A rusting ship skeleton rests on white sand. The water displays unnatural electric blue, so vivid it appears photoshopped. This beach ranks among the world's most photographed locations. Nearby, the blue caves create natural arches and grottos where sunlight reflects through clear water, painting cave walls in blue light. Lefkada connects to mainland Greece by a narrow causeway. Porto Kasiki Beach earned global recognition for its dramatic setting. A tall white cliff drops straight to turquoise water. Stairs carved into the cliff provide access. The beach's orientation protects it from wind, keeping water calm and clear. Igremni Beach offers similar beauty on an even larger scale, though an earthquake damaged the access road, making it harder to reach. Mykonos established itself as a party destination. Windmills overlook Chora, the main town, where whitewashed buildings line narrow stone streets. Paradise Beach and Super Paradise Beach attract international DJs and thousands of dancers. Beach clubs operate from noon until dawn. The island balances this hedonistic reputation with traditional Cycladic architecture and genuine Greek village life in quieter areas. Crete, Greece's largest island, contains multitudes. The Samaria Gorge cuts through mountains for 16 kilometers, attracting hikers. Balos Lagoon creates a natural pool where 3 seas meet, producing layers of blue shades. Elefantisi Beach features pink sand formed from crushed shells. Knossos archaeological site preserves Minoan palace ruins. Towns like Chania and Rethmino maintain Venetian architecture from centuries of Italian rule.
Number 1. Athens, Acropolis, and Parthenon. Athens ranks among the oldest continuously inhabited cities on Earth. Over 3.7 million people live in the metropolitan area today, making it the undisputed center of Greek political, economic, and cultural life. The city's origin story involves a competition between 2 Olympian gods. Poseidon struck the ground with his trident, creating a saltwater spring. Athena planted an olive tree. The citizens chose the olive because it provided food, oil, and wood. The goddess of wisdom won, and the city took her name. Walking through Athens creates a strange temporal displacement. Modern office buildings stand blocks away from temples that predate Christianity by centuries. Traffic rushes past ruins where philosophers once gathered. Cafes fill with people scrolling through phones while the Acropolis watches from its hill. The Acropolis itself dominates the cityscape from every angle. This limestone outcrop rises 150 meters above sea level, crowned by the Parthenon. Built in the 5th century BCE, the temple dedicated to Athena represents the peak of classical Greek architecture. Massive columns support the structure, and sculptural friezes once depicted mythological scenes in vivid color. Today, the marble appears white, but ancient Greeks painted their temples in bright reds, blues, and golds. The Erechtheion sits nearby, famous for the caryatids, 6 columns carved as draped female figures supporting the porch roof.
These elegant sculptures became one of ancient Greece's most recognizable images. The Temple of Olympian Zeus covers massive ground southeast of the Acropolis. Construction began in the 6th century BCE, but wasn't completed until 638 years later under Roman Emperor Hadrian. Only 15 of the original 104 columns remain standing, but their 17-meter height demonstrates the monument's original grandeur. The Panathenaic Stadium occupies a valley between two hills. Built entirely from white marble, this horseshoe-shaped venue hosted athletic competitions in ancient times. Restored in the late 1800s, it became the site of the first modern Olympic Games in 1896. Today, visitors can run on the same track where ancient and modern athletes competed.
Still curious? Then don't stop now. The next mystery is already waiting for you. Just click the video on screen. I saved it just for you. See you there, curious one.